Will just doing scales make you a better singer? Well, yes and no. Yes, if you're doing them correctly. No, if you're not. In fact, it may hurt you and certainly can build bad habits. Now, it's kind of a shame because the internet has become this sensationalistic thing where people will say just about anything to get you to click on their videos and get views. You see things like, the only warm up you'll ever need, or the ultimate warm ups for singer males or females, or whatever. That's kind of like saying the only guitar chord you'll ever need. You're only going to need one chord. You're only going to need one scale, one warm up. That's just not responsible, and it's kind of silly, but people believe it and they keep clicking on and thinking that they're doing something cool. Let me explain this in a way that may help you understand. When we sing, whether it's a scale or a song or whatever, let's say I'm a personal trainer. And let's say I don't know that much, but I know that much more than you. So you think I'm a professional because I can, toss out some terms that may wow you and, go, wow, he must know more than me because he knows a word or two more than me. But I'm a personal trainer and I tell you to run up and down that street. You're a little overweight, and so you're running up and down that street, you're losing a little weight, you're feeling pretty good. You're thinking that scale is really helping you because you're able to get a little more strength and power out of your voice. And to some degree, that's true. So I'm a personal trainer. I don't know that much, but I'm telling you to run up and down that street. And after a couple weeks, you're feeling good. You're feeling stronger. Yeah, this is great. But that's about it. So if you notice, you're not really getting any better. And in fact, it doesn't necessarily even work for your singing. You might have a little bit more looseness when you go to sing, but it's not really applicable where you can apply the scale to singing. Have you noticed that? So this vocal coach or this personal trainer, as they've told you to run up and down, that's the total sum and limit of their knowledge. And they can't take you farther than that to truly give you range that you can use or truly better your tone or these different things. And it really doesn't help you that much. Now, if you do scales correctly, they can help you tremendously. So what does that look like? Okay, well, the first thing is there's different vowels that we need to train, and I'm going to show you one of them now. And we need to understand how those vowels relate from one vowel to another. It's not that you just sing a vowel and boy, you're good to go, and next thing you know, you can just start singing. It doesn't work like that. It's like a sport. If I go into soccer, I'm going to learn how to pass a ball, take a shot, receive a ball, bring it off my chest, roll it down. There's so many nuances to this that, again, it's very irresponsible to say something like, it's the only scale or warm-up you'll ever need, or the ultimate warm-up for guys. And if you don't know how to do it correctly, there's a good chance you're going to embed problems, things that are going to be tough to overcome or may even hurt yourself. So the first thing is that as people talk about scales, you don't just go straight to a scale. We've talked a lot about breathing, about diaphragmatic breathing. And I see all these videos on diaphragmatic breathing. And yet when I listen to these singers or these teachers, they don't really know how to do it themselves. They talk about it. They talk a good story. They have, all the technical jargon that might wow you with a word or two that you don't know. And it makes them look smart. But in reality, they're not really reproducing this sound. Now, you really need to ask yourself a question. Does that vocal coach sing and sing well? It's a very important question. You're not going to go to a guitar teacher that can't show you how to play guitar, right? Or piano or whatever instrument. So that's the first question. The second question is, do they display students that sing and sing well? And are they doing things that are something that you want to sing or sound like? Very, very important question. So I want to start with the mean average of where guys and girls would sing together. And I'm going to start a little low. Now, everybody's vocal type is different, but I'm going to start here. And I've done this before. I have vocal warm-ups, and I'm going to show you some important things later. So stick around in a video series I'm going to be putting out right away about vocal tract shaping and how to shape the vowels, about different ways to get in and out of the passaggio, all kinds of things like that. But we're going to start on an ah vowel. We're going to take this breath like this, and we're going to call and go, hey! We just want to get the strength from the abdomen. Hey! Hey! Now, I'm not asking you to shout. And by the way, we're going to also talk about different styles of singing in different videos, but we're just going to start on an ah vowel, on a triad, and the triad's going to be like this. La. And ladies, you're going to take this up the octave. La. Okay, now, before we do this too, I want to talk about the brightness and the ping of the sound, because it's really important. If I just go, and I just all in the throat, that is actually building a bad habit. And no matter what scale I do, no matter what warm-up I do, that's not going to help me for singing. It's going to embed bad habits and bad posture and bad throat technique. What we talk about, open throat technique. We're going to get into all these subjects. By the way, yes, I have a singing course where I cover this extensively. You can find it right here at KenTamplinVocalAcademy.com, where I also have 25,000 students over there all talking about this stuff. So let's do it again. Now, I want you to think of the doctor that wants to see your tonsils. So get a handheld mirror out, stand in front of a mirror, get your phone out, whatever you got to do. But I want you to drop the tongue to the base of the mandible or your jaw, and I want you to go, la. And I just want you to do that a few times. If you feel like you're constricting in the throat, la, start to blame your stomach first. Strength in your abdomen, or what's called the diaphragm. Now, no, your stomach is not the diaphragm. I have a whole few videos on diaphragmatic support. If you want to, go watch those. I'm not going to cover that here, but I wanted to make a couple points as we're going along the way here. So the next one, here we go. La. Here we go again. Keep the brightness, keep the strength in the stomach. La. Now, as we go up the scale, I want you to feel like you need a little more strength in the stomach to sustain the note at the top. This is very important. We can't use the same strength on the bottom as we do at the top. It just doesn't work that way. So as we're going to ascend the scale, we're going to do it again. La. And if you feel the throat closing down, la, like you're gagging on your tongue, or you're kind of feel a lot of mass in the throat, think about that like the doctor. La. Okay, now ladies, you're probably feeling like you're kind of getting pretty high up in the scale, depending on what your vocal type is, if you're alto or a soprano. You guys, the males, I kind of did this in a high baritone or mid baritone range, and we're going to go up a little bit higher. Now, what happens as we go up higher? Most people want to close down the vowel like this. And they close off the throat, or they'll raise their larynx, or you'll feel the gastric muscle underneath the jaw, that little spongy thing right there. You'll feel it starting to come down. So they'll go, and they'll start to pull a lot of stress or strain in the throat. That's why we want this like the doctor wants to see your tonsils. I have a slogan that I've coined. The slogan is called, it's the la, ah. Now, why do I emphasize this? I emphasize it because all vowel sounds come from this one vowel. All of them, except E and U, and even they do with some exception. So once we master this vowel, we can use this vowel as a springboard to other vowels. Let me show you what I mean. And we're going to get into this. I'm going to have a series. So this is going to be number one, and then we're going to go into a few more where I'll cover each one of these so you really understand it. And by the way, the reason I say the proof is in the singing is I want you to go through my channel. I have over 1,200 videos. Look at how I sing and look at how my students sing. And then I want you to go to any other channel. And by the way, KTVA may not be right for you, and that's okay. But this is a rule of thumb. Like, go to other channels, see how well the vocal coach sings. Even if they claim to be an opera vocal coach, whatever. Listen to their tone and listen to their pitch. You go, do I like the sound of this person's voice? Do I like the sound of their students? Do they show any students? Those are extremely important questions to ask, because if you don't, you're going to sound like the coach that you're learning from. Or you're going to sound like the students that they display. Is that what you want? Because that is where you're headed if you're going to these sites just learning a scale or this or that even they themselves can't reproduce. Okay? So now I'm going to talk about this shifting of the vowels. So each vowel should be in relation to, in some form or fashion, the ah vowel. Let me show you what I mean. And I'm going to get into this again when I talk about vocal tract shaping. So I'm going to do a whole video on this, but watch this. If I go, la, and I hold that ah, and I want to move that ah from ah to ah, watch how subtle this is. La. You hear that? La. Right? Now if I move it from the ah to an a sound, la, la, right? And I move it from an a to an e sound, and I move it from an E. Now I'm going to stop there because that's actually what I call the family of vowels. A, and E are kind of all part of the same vowel groups. O and U are more closely related to A. So I want to go from here. Hello, hello. You hear how closely related that O is to A? I'm not going hello. Or when I went from ah to ah, I didn't go la. Or from ah to a, la, or a. Or from a to e, hey. Right? I went la. Do you hear how closely related that last set of vowels were? That's what we want to do, because if we don't, we overshape the vowel and we make it very difficult or very arduous to get from one vowel to another. Now, you're not hearing this anywhere on the internet because people don't know it, because they don't know how to sing like this. They don't understand old bel canto open throat technique. And we're going to talk about bel canto versus pop singing, or operatic singing versus pop singing and stuff. We're going to get in all this stuff. So this really, really matters. So the question was, let's revisit the question, is, does just doing scales make you a better singer? Well, if I'm doing them correctly, absolutely. Absolutely they will. If my diaphragm's working, if my throat mechanism is working, if I'm working all the vowels themselves correctly, I'm going from one vowel to another correctly, yes. But there's no such thing as one vocal warm-up the only vocal warm-up you'll ever need. There's no such thing as, and by the way, I want to address one more thing too. There's no such thing as being a great singer in 30 days or 60 days. It's just nonsense, guys. It's clickbait. I'm going to tell you anything you want to hear. You can lose 100 pounds if you take this pill in 30 days. That's the kind of sensationalism and irresponsibility that's going on just to get people to click on other people's sites. Again, KTVA may not be right for you. That's totally okay. But I am giving you honest, legit, good quality information. So stick around for this series, because if you guys want to learn about the voice, I'm going to teach you the real goods on how to sing correctly. All right? I'm going to sing for the people.